nitakutumia link, unitext WhatsApp, nikutumia link yuse. Tunaingia in 1 2 Yes, good afternoon. This is Plains and Felix, and I welcome you to Kenya News Alert TV. Here with me, I am with my two guests. I would like to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we proceed. Let me start from my left side as we progress. Hello, sir.
Hi. My name is Nyanjom Joshua, Organizing Secretary, Bunge la Mwananchi Youth Wing nationally.
All right, good evening, and how are you all? Of course, we welcome you to the live. My name is Anthony Karumba, the national spokesperson at Bunge la Mwananchi Youth Wing. Yeah.
Welcome. I believe today it has been a good day. Yenye many of us to enjoy, to progress. Tukijaribu kuenjoy Madaraka. So how was your Madaraka day, sir?
I find nothing to celebrate about today.
What do you mean?
Like, I haven't seen any reason to celebrate because wakoloni ni wale. There's nothing have changed since we got the independence 62 years down the line. So I find nothing to celebrate about today.
Well, first of all is to wish everybody a happy Madaraka Day. Of course, it's a custom day that we know in the history of Kenya. We celebrate this day as a great day of liberation. However, the status quo at the moment, particularly, you know, this being a celebration day, we are supposed to celebrate. And for you to celebrate, of course, you need to have something in your pockets. But with the current economic times, definitely, we just say it's a day like any other day. And the oppressors and the oppressed, status quo remains. So maybe for the oppressors, they are feeling and they are appreciating the day. But for the rest, I think as Gen Zs, it's a normal day like any other. Yeah.
So maybe, what do you really have in your mind right now, bro?
Like, to me, there are a lot of things that I was expecting when we are celebrating this day. We celebrate those things. We had, since independence, there's nothing that I've seen that it's really touching that us as people who are governing themselves, because today we remember it was a day that Kenya got her independence, and when people were jumping and celebrating today about the Madaraka Day, I asked myself several questions that when I go out the street, what will I be celebrating of? Because we find the economic, the education economic model has failed. We had the trickle down, and now we are having the bottom up. We had the education system.
Wait. Unajua, kwa sahi, we really need to understand what is in our plan, and what our plan entails by now. Yes? Sasa nyinyi kama Gen Z, mulisikiza ile speech ya President Ruto, mukaielewa na mukai-internalize hadi mukafanya kila kitu kueleweka. What do you really have in mind? Let me start with you.
Well, first of all, it is so frustrating.
Wait. Hadi nimesikia joto bana. What do you really mean?
Very much frustrating to hear. President today, I've listened actually keenly to his speech. And one of the things that he's putting too much, he's belaboring in this one point of blue economy. Well, we understand, of course, he was in a Homa Bay, which is, of course, in the land of fish and all that. But now, this being a national day, we expect the president to address every matter that affects the people. And, of course, not just addressing. We are used to these things of every time tumetenga.
Do you really mean that whatever he was trying to talk about or whatever he talked about doesn't make any sense before you?
It's just the usual tongue that we are used to. Oh, tutafanya. Like for instance, let's talk about the easy job mtaani, kazi mtaani. This kazi mtaani, he has told us today that is about to start next week, right? I think we had another celebration day. It was a national holiday still. The speech he gave, it was Labor Day. The same thing we had. So the question is, we are talking of next week, but next week is not actually, which next week are we talking about? You get? So these are just usual deceptions that we are used to. And of course we know this is the common tongue. There's nothing has changed. And it's the same thing how we say in Swahili. Msitu ni ule ule. Nyani na ubadilika. That's the point.
Wah, mnafanya ninakosa kitu cha kuongea. So what to do? So you guys, this is trying maybe to show that you don't have any faith and trust according to what was said here, today.
Well, let me say this. I listened keenly to what his broad-based packed, partner and brother, the older brother, as he calls him, Jacob, said. Raila said, and I think this is something in the spirit of forgiveness which has been happening in the last week about a national prayer breakfast. This pastor who was sent, I believe by God, to speak on behalf of Gen Zs and remind these people in power that Gen Zs are good people. All they want is to, they have something in them that they can bring on the table. You get my point? And in the spirit of forgiveness, we saw the president that day asking for forgiveness from the Gen Zs. The other time, a months ago, we saw the president again say and promise that the people who are abducted, they are going to be released.
Yes. The people who were abducted have already been released and they are back home with their parents.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. Now, you see the president, I think with time, I think we'll be giving him time. Because once we give him time, he accepts his faults and he accepts the truth. Yeah, you get? So now he admits and he asks for the forgiveness that time from us. But now, I want to belabor what his brother said today. That for the forgiveness to make sense, which one of the things, not a major thing, according to Raila, he said that so that we can do away with the past, you compensate the families of the ones who lost their people. But remember the people who went to the streets, these people, our heroes, our Gen Zs who went to the streets and were killed, they had a zeal to liberate our economy. They had a zeal, the voice of reason of these Gen Zs together. If at all the president means, one of the things we ask for, it's what actually his brother reminded him. You compensate the families of those people, of those, the victims. Number two, what we were fighting for, which is accountable leadership, good governance, a responsible leadership, and fight of corruption, end of corruption, and also, fighting tribalism. If at all you bring a blueprint that definitely you'll bring Gen Zs on board and hear what they have, yeah, at least that would make sense, yeah. But don't just tell us that, oh, you apologize to us, but apology, we know every person can just say something, but you don't mean it from your heart. Yeah, there's a difference between what you say and what you mean, because what you mean, you do it easily, effortlessly, without struggle. Yeah, and that is what we are expecting from the president, if indeed he meant it. And in the spirit of even this, I think this week, there are many things which have actually happened. One of it is actually forgiveness. Today, again, now being a celebration, and this is a new month. We need to get into, again, this is a month of a finance bill. That is June, right? So we expect in this month that the president now actualize your words. Walk the talk. That's the point.
When I can maybe go to the comment section, naona kuna mtu anaitwa Steve Odhiambo. Anasema new colonialism is the name of the game. Raila together with the government of thieves need to start packing. Yes? Naona Cornel Achola anasema nimependa. Thank you so much Cornel, wherever you are. Cornel Muia anasema kijana umekosa akili na uwezi jua wendako. I don't know, maybe whoever you are trying to address, but let me say everybody is trying to speak his mind. Muhammad Manga anasema achana na hizi vitu Mr. President, we chapa kazi. So hizo ni reaction zao, na let me hope that hakuna mtu mwenye amekuwa bothered, na hata ukikuwa bothered wewe mwenyewe uko na your own interest yenye inakusukuma, sivyo?
Well, you see now, let me say this, and I want to, I think the one actually who is trying to abuse us, I want to imagine and wish that he's not a Gen Z. Because every Gen Z in Kenya, we have one thing in common. The spirit of oneness, the spirit of unity, and the spirit of, visionary minds. You get my point? Now, we agreed, and that is one of the things that we agreed during the protest, is that all of us, we are one people. We are faced by the same problems. Every morning you wake up, you cry and yearn for the same thing. You want to succeed, that is why you go to school. You want to succeed, that is why you work hard. And so we said, we are facing the same problems, whether I am a Luo, whether I am a Kikuyu, whether I am whichever tribe. And that is why we were tribeless. Yeah? But now, all of us, therefore, we have to speak in one voice. Yeah? And I believe there is not even a single Gen Z there who can even dare to speak like that, because basically we are uniting our voices in order for us to fight for our nation, in order for us to bring a better country, a country where effort will be credited, a country where smart people will be credited. I mean, we are not going to be given jobs and opportunities based on your second name. You get my point? And that is one, or the spirit which we went to the street with, all of us as Gen Zs.
What can you say about that, bro?
To me, what I want to say, I think President is speaking from utopia, because I don't think if he lives in the country. Like, let me just describe the event that happened today at Homa Bay. If I can take you back 2000, 2005, 2006, when Kenya used to celebrate Madaraka Day, everybody used to feel it. The president of the East Africa communities were invited. Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Paul Kagame of Rwanda. Today, we celebrated a Madaraka Day, minus even inviting our neighbors. And to make it sound serious to you, we depend so much in terms of business. We depend so much to Tanzania. We depend so much to Uganda, because we do business with these are our neighbors. But you find it today, those who commemorated at Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium are just people who have destroyed this country. You even had the majority leader, when he was being interviewed, what he was saying that they're celebrating today, it's about two-term. So I was asking myself, was it were they campaigning for 2027, or what was happening? Because as young people of this country, there are a lot that we expected the president to mention today, but to my disappointment, or to the disappointment of any or every young people, there are only two major things that president's speech were oscillating around today: the blue economy, and now just to hoodwink us with the kazi mtaani. And this kazi mtaani, let me tell you, the one Raila Amolo Odinga hooped away with around 1.8 billion in the previous regime of Uhuru. He was among those people who were in the forefront agitating for the kazi mtaani. And again, he's back in the government, and now again he's coming with the same agenda of kazi mtaani. As a youth, we'll work, but what are we going to be paid? Peanuts. I remember I was a supervisor that time. I was in Mombasa, and I was being paid around 550 per day. That's I was working for 2 weeks. That's around 10,000, I think so. Yeah, it's 10,000. After every 2 weeks, it's 10,000. But my question is this really what will solve the problem that the young people are having? The issue of unemployment, those are the things that took us to the street last year, June. Issues of unemployment, accountability, corruptions. And now they are bringing kazi mtaani just to doing cars, not to go back to the street. But it won't last long. It won't last long. We need these leaders to come up with a model that will work and solve the issue of unrest to youths. Yeah, that's my mind.
What do you really maybe trying to talk about? Does it mean that maybe the relationship between Kenya and the neighboring countries is not there anymore? That's why maybe some of the leaders were not invited in the country during the Madaraka Day.
Let me quote this from the president of Tanzania, Mama Suluhu. He said, I'll say it in Kiswahili because she said it in Kiswahili. Kama Kenya wanaona hatuwezi ishi bila wao, then tuko tayari kuenda Ethiopia, kwa sababu hatuwezi fanya kazi mali kuna nini, kuna kelele. And that's from the head of state from Tanzania. Uganda is just here. They even never sent a representative. And those are things that actually should really sound unwell to majority of Kenyans, because kama Tanzania, Uganda iko hapa, hawajaalikwa. Tanzania iko hapa, Rwanda hawajaalikwa. Na kibiashara tunategemea hao wanatutegemea kibiashara, because you find Tanzania, they are using electricity from Kenya, if you're not aware. And now they are opting to move to Ethiopia. So if they'll move to Ethiopia, there's a lot we used to make when they're using our electricity. In fact, they are paying us. So the revenue that we used to collect from supplying Tanzania with electricity, where will it come from? A lot of diplomacy.
Hadi ninahisi ni kama ni joto inanigonga. Sijui, hebu nishikie hivi kwanza nitoe sweater bwana.
Oh my goodness. Getting hot and hotter, you know? It's really getting hot and hotter, you know?
Huyu anaongea hadi ninahisi ni kama yani ndugu yangu ameongea hadi nimehisi ni kama yani hapa hivi kumechemka. Bro, you see, the president maybe is trying to fight to give you what you really deserve, but some of the individuals are saying that it is a little bit hard and for them to bear with him. And you guys mumekuwa kuonyesha like truly that is the point. What do you really think should be done to fix this issue then?
I think it's very simple. Now we are in that time. Now we are in that actually specific time, where if indeed, for instance, and I actually belabor the same thing you are talking about, the forgiveness. If indeed he meant it, let us see it happen this time. You know, if this time, actually this month of June, in commemoration of the heroes that we lost in the streets of the cities and towns all over the country because of the protest, if indeed the president means the best for the young people of this nation, this is the time now. As the pastor who was from the US and attended actually this national prayer breakfast advised him, he told him 3 things. These people wants to be on the table. Because number one, you will not know our problems as a Gen Z without hearkening to us. Yeah, we saw, of course, the broad-based government came, which is good. But now look at this. After the broad-based government came, some of the things we were articulating and asking for, have we seen anything? No. The problems are the same things 1 year down the line. I think now this is the best time for the president, because it's 1 year down the line, for him to implement on all these many promises, call Gen Zs, talk with them, ask them, because majorly we are people who are rich in technology. Yeah? Actually, if he gives us, like now what is happening, you have seen definitely. Are we still there? Yeah. Okay. Right now, what I'm saying is this: if at all the president means it for these Gen Zs and the young people, it's time for him to implement on these many things that he's been talking about. Yeah. Let us see now job employment being provided, and we don't want actually these casual jobs he's talking about. Kazim Tani, you cannot tell us, man. People have degrees, people have masters, people have diplomas and all these things. Now you want to tell him to go and work in kufagia huko. I'm not saying those are bad jobs, but president should be intentional in terms of providing a job, neat jobs to the people, jobs that will actually benefit these young people. Number two, there is this one thing. Like now we have so many professionals, and the president was talking about the workload and seeking for the opportunities overseas for us. Now, if indeed he wants to help the Gen Zs with these overseas programs, because we have seen him travel many times outside the country, and he comes back and he tells us we have negotiated, UK has given us over 400,000 opportunities, over these opportunities, this number of opportunities. If indeed he means best for the Gen Zs, let us see him give Gen Zs, if it is free passports. Right now, today, the cheapest passport is how much? 10,000. I think it's 9,000. 9,000. That is the cheapest passport right now. Now, these are real sufferers. They don't even have a hustle. Then, if at all you want to inspire them with these job opportunities that you're talking about, why can't you put free passports? Yeah? Give them free passports. At least, Mr. President, there, we are going to say and feel, yes, our president is providing job opportunities overseas for the young people to benefit them. But now when you call, you come, you tell us there are these opportunities, but again, still, they are cost. Even actually, like now, for instance, if you are like a nurse, for instance, they do other professional tests, which they pay, expensive. You get my point? So, if the president means some of these things he's talking about, we have seen right now, government has money, Kenya has money, because you cannot tell us you don't have money, yet every weekend we are just seeing money in sacks. They are being taken around every other church. They have even...
What did you mean? Did you just say...
Yes, of course. We have seen the deputy president going around nowadays with money in sacks that they are empowering young people. Yet, we can't see any change to the places that they have gone into.
Wait, mimi ndio ninaishi Kenya nyingine tofauti.
My friend, these things are actually on the public domain. You have seen them going every time and donating. I think it's only for today because there was a celebration day. But I think it's yesterday. The team was, I think, somewhere in Kiambu. Yeah? Within Kiambu. The other day, they were still within Kiambu. Actually, they have gone, I think, 3 times now. Right? Now, all this money, it is very simple. If at all you are intentional, where there is a will, there is always a way. Yeah? This money, try to make a parsimony expenditure of the government's resources, the few resources you're talking about. You know, they came into the office, they told us that they found empty coffers, that there is no money. Up to date, they are still complaining that there is no money. That is the obvious tongue that they have actually maintained. But now, we are seeing the dishing out of handouts everywhere they go, giving out money, lobbying people to come and attend their rallies and all that. Why can't them collect this money and use them appropriately to empower Gen Zs? Give them free transport. Yeah, I mean free passports. Yeah, and also again at the same time, opportunities. All we are asking for as Kenyan people and the youths of this Kenya, it's fair opportunities to every person. Yeah, give them fair opportunities, because nowadays it has reached to a point that sometimes the president might think like maybe these people hate me, or else they are too much chaotic or ungovernable or something. No, Gen Zs, and I think I will still repeat the words of this pastor, Gen Zs, they are not ungovernable. Gen Zs, in fact, they are like, they took the real responsibility after seeing the opposition and government merge together. Previously, and even Constitution actually has instituted opposition to fight for the vulnerable, to fight for Kenyan people. When they see government is, they promised this, we compare the promises with the implementation. Now, government, now they went into bed with the opposition. So what did the Gen Zs do? They came And actually we started challenging the president. But now, unfortunately, we are not given a room for a fair, free, you know, like we are given freedom of expression and speech, man.
Anyway, here in my comment section, Moses Matim, anasema visionary ya Rigi G, really? Anyway, utajibu hiyo. Geoffrey Mark anasema sure, meaning he is trying maybe to do what? To assure you. Yes. Geoffrey Mark anasema bado, lakini wajinga hawataki kusikia hiyo. There is something you guys you mentioned. Maybe some of the individuals are maybe said to be that they cannot even listen and maybe try to consider that. This is Plain St. Felix, na hii show huwa inakuanga every day. Itakuwa ikifanyika every day kuanzia 6 hadi 7. So guys, nikiendelea kuproceed, wanasema Francis Mlashia, we have no time for the butcher from Sugoi. Tell Arab mshamba ukweli. Anyway, but I would like, if possible, we use a good language, because this is our president. Despite what, we really need to be very responsible. Yes. Anyway, what can you say about this?
Let me say this. Number one, I think the president needs to ask himself this one question. Why is it that every place they are complaining? Now, there is something that Gen Zs wanted to bring in, which was a very great thing, but they took it lightly.
What is that?
We wanted to have a tribeless nation, because what is ailing our nation today? It's tribalism. And the leaders, they use the same, it's a nominal. It has become a nominal thing that leaders know. Whether you work for the people, you deliver or you don't deliver, as long as you are able to play tribal politics, you're going to get somewhere. So leaders, what they do, for them, once they come, they do their calculations like this. Mount Kenya people, niko nao. When you go to the Rift Valley, niko nao wote. When you go to this, so when you do your calculations in terms of the statistics and numbers, you are like, I only need this, I only need Kikuyus to support me, I only need Kalenjins to support me for me to get to the presidency. So these people will always play with the psychology of Kenyans, yeah? And for them every time, and that is what even right now is happening. Gen Zs, we came together and said, what is ailing our nation? It is because of tribalism. Every leader comes, wanajua, of course, kama ni tribe yangu, what the people there, they will be saying, mtu wetu, mtu wetu, mtu wetu. So basically, whether you work for them, you deliver, the joblessness there prevails, but the person is elected second time. You get my point? Now, Gen Zs, we saw this, and we said, why can't we come together without minding whether you're a Kikuyu, you're a Kalenjin, you're whatever, as long as you're competent enough, you're a visionary person who can give and solve the problems of Kenya, manage the economy of Kenya. If it is these things of debt and all this, we need somebody right now, in fact, coming to 2027. And this is what Gen Zs we have been advocating for. Let us deal with the politics of logics and not emotions. Let us actually bring... you know, there are people who are taking sides and actually taking advantage right now of saying, oh, the only thing that now is running in the mind, it's about chasing this person. Yes, of course, as all Kenyans, I agree with you. We are going to chase him. But now, who is this person that is going to replace him and that is going to deliver services and everything as we intend and as actually we admire? Therefore, if anybody is to come and convince Gen Zs, and I want to thank Gen Zs because, of course, we have not taken side so far. Yeah? Of course, the things, then the slogans and suits, and when you see people calling press and saying, oh, one time this. For us as Gen Zs, all we are saying is this. Before we talk about one time, before we talk about 10 bila break, 10 bila break, let us ask ourselves, who is this person who will come up with a very good blueprint to tell us, this is where the economy is, this is a plan I have towards how we are going to pay this debt and maintain the economic climate at a stable position. You get my point? Yes. Come and tell us, this is the plan I have, which is a new that actually has not worked. You know, these people didn't know, because we know definitely, I have told you, in Kenya, Kenya is not a poor country. Kenya, in fact, should not be among the third world countries. Kenya is a country where even many tourists have been coming to this nation. Yeah, it's a nation that is recognized internationally. So we have resources. Look at how fertile lands we have from the western, places. We have actually in the western, the sugar cane. We produce a lot of sugar cane. People in Transmara here, even in Narok, there is sugar. I mean, is it Kisii, Transmara, somewhere there? They even have a company of sugar there, right? You see, you cannot tell me that we are still importing sugar, yet our farmers are producing sugar canes in their farms, but we cannot be able to do simple economic calculation and produce the market for them. You get my point? The same case with the coffee, the same case with the tea, the same case with the milk. Yeah, the same case with the pyrethrum. Kenya is a rich nation. The blue economy is talking about, if indeed these people, the problem we have with the Kenyan leaders is because they say something, but they don't mean it. You get my point? Yeah? They preach water, they take wine. But now, it is about time we change the status quo by bringing somebody who is a visionary person. As Gen Zs, we are watching. We are watching these people.
Wait, even before you proceed, I want to question you a very simple question. There are those people who always say that you guys, you always complain because at some point you don't understand what the government is going through to deliver services. Now wengine wanasema you guys, you always complain and you have no enough experiencing, that maybe enough experience yenye nafaa kuwa convince aje huku government si kurahisi. The government to deliver according to your will is not easy, but you always judge the government according to the way you just see things. You understand? Hadi wengine wanasema aje hawa watoto wamekosa nidhamu na if possible wanafaa hata wapigwe vimarungu viboko. What can you say about that? Because at some point some of the individuals could do come with a certain point yenye nasema like at some point you always against even the right points.
Now let me tell you, if today you are taught in school and told 1 + 1 = 2, then somebody else comes and tells you 1 + 1 = 11, who are you going to believe? Definitely you know the truth. The only thing that is happening, and even the pastor who came from the US during the National Prayer Breakfast mentioned it, is that Gen Zs, we are not fools. We are people who have gone to school. We are people who have done statistics. We are people who are creative. We know what is happening. We read books. We read even everything. We have the documentaries and every document and everything that is happening within the country. Now, the point is this. He who came and gave us the promises, that time he was the deputy president. He challenged the previous regime and said, when I get to power, I have the formula. Within 100 days, within this number of days, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you promised us, right? But now you get into power, nothing is changing. You come with promises. We are seeing no change. You give us promise, you give us hope, yet life is becoming more worse than it was. Now, good people, let me ask you, even if you talk about lacking manners, if that is what maybe kind of a judgment that people might say if we challenge government, surely asking somebody, it's like your father, for instance, at home, he comes and tells you, I'll buy you a new shirt. Son, come next week, I'll buy you a new shirt. Then it comes that week and he tells you, he does not buy for you. He comes with another story. Okay, he tells you, wait, next month I will buy for you. Now you end a whole 1 year, continuing with the same promise, but no implementation, no fulfillment of the promises. And let me tell you, number one, if Kenya, for instance, took serious public participation, and that is what we are talking about now, yeah, Gen Zs are not ungovernable. Number one, the president called for us after the protest. He called that, we ended the protest. But now, those times, the emotions were high. Emotions were high, the rage was high, because definitely, you see, the response of government was too vicious after we went to the streets. That is why when the president came at the X space when we were having a conversation, some people went to the excesses of even calling Bamba Shireen, and the conversation became messy. If you judge us from that point, that was emotional, and that emotions were high because of everything that government had actually done. We agree to that point, right? But Gen Z is now, they are ready to listen. Yeah, Gen Z's now, all we want is to see economy stabilizing, is to see the millions of us who have actually graduated from the universities getting job opportunities. That is all we are asking for. If at all we see the system working very well like that, then, for real, These are people who are very, in fact, I have told you time and time again that what they did is what a wise person would do. When you want something to go in the right way, and you see this thing is actually now taking a detour, as a wise person, what do? You tell the person, yeah? You tell the person, and that is what Gen Zs did. Because we have no other nation except Kenya. This is our nation. When you kill the economy, you're killing our hope. You're killing our tomorrow. So do we just sit somewhere there in the corner and say now, because he's the president and we respect him very much, atupeleke kwa muto, atupeleke wapi tuko sawa?
What can you say? What can you say, bro? Unajua ameongea hadi amechukua time yako bwana.
Kene, what I'll say, you know, today we are celebrating Madaraka Day.
Madaraka, not even Mashujaa, Madaraka. Yes.
Madaraka Day. And let me surprise you. Since 2010 Constitution, since we got 2010 Constitution, we are in 13 years of devolution. And to surprise you, what a devolution is just a mock in our eyes. This week I think on Tuesday in China, they were punishing a minister who stole $200 million. And you know their punishment when you're found a corrupt person is being killed. Yeah, but you find in Kenya, what you are to celebrate today, it's actually we were to celebrate the devolution, but it has turned to be a den of corruption. You find every year EAC must arrest the governor because of EACC must arrest a governor because he ran away with the allocation that was meant for the county. Yeah, and after being arrested, that in Kenya a corrupt person, if he is arrested, he's being taken to church. But in China, if you are found with any issue of corruption, you are being killed. So it's high time I, as a Gen Z or as a young person, what my suggestion is that anybody who will come that he has an interest to change the face or anything in this country, in his blueprint, that manifesto, I should see it clearly that in his manifesto he should list that anybody who will be found corrupt, penalty ya corruption Kenya ikweni death penalty. Hapo ndio inchi itaanza kuenda mbele. Otherwise these things that you're doing won't help us. Kenya tumefika mahali like everybody is tired. That's why you are seeing my friend every and each time he's speaking, he says Gen Z's, this was the clarion call. That's why they were in the street. But to surprise you or to surprise us, everything that we fought for, we died for, were never fulfilled. He threw the bill, but in the back door, akairudisha. Today, he is saying that the president should give us jobs outside. But kwa hii bill ya 2025-2026, kuna remittance bill yenye wale majamaa wetu wanafagia huko Qatar, wanateseka huko. Imagine ile pesa wakileta huku kuna tax. Just imagine, Kenya. As a young person mwenye is seeing future in Kenya, what you can say? Utakaa tu chini uone the government is stealing from us. How can you tax somebody mwenye alingangana, ameuza shamba? Hii Finland case mnaikumbuka hii ya nini? Ameuza shamba. Let me tell you how it's pains. Ameuza shamba, ameuza ng'ombe, akaenda ugaibuni. Na huko si ameenda kufanya kazi nzuri. He's there, he's doing he's a housemaid. A person who has a PhD, a person who has a degree. See my form 4 leavers wako huko. Those guys are learned. Look at the country we are seeing.
Anyway, because of the interest of time, I really appreciate you guys for joining us. And this is Plains and Felix. I really appreciate you for creating time, but whatever maybe we are experiencing as the country is all about maybe what can enlighten us and make us broaden our brains. Yes.
Can I make a final submission? This is my as we finish, this is what I have to say to our leaders: just mean what you say. Don't come to us and tell us something that you know you will not deliver, because you're dealing with the bright people, you're dealing with people who knows what they want, you're dealing with people who knows where they want to go, and the kind of a life they have chosen that they want to live, right? So don't come and tell them, I'll give, I'll do, when you know you don't mean it, right? And another thing is this, Mr. President, now that we have come, or we are counting 1 year since the last year's event of the Gen Z's demonstration, now would like to see you walk the talk by, first of all, compensating the families of those that lost their loved ones. Number two, also, would like to see how you will respond towards this very brilliant and sagacious admonition that you are given by this pastor who came from the US, because I believe that pastor was sent to Kenya by God to heal this enmity, or else the kind of a pressure between the Gen Zs and this current administration. And finally, to the leaders, because we are seeing already what is happening nowadays is that the distraction is dominating the work that government should be doing and the work that every person should be doing. There's no every day when we wake up in the morning, the daily, the news highlight every time is about who is going to lead us in 2027, who did this. Some of them actually, like they are coming to pervade tribalism, which is something that actually we're fighting against. This, if at all you respect Kenyans and you mean good for the Kenyan people, let us now canvass matters that matters most to the Kenyan people, which will benefit. Come and let us bring, as Gen Zs, if you ask for a report from us in terms of how to end corruption, to end tribalism, and of course even to stabilize the economic climate, we are loaded with a lot of knowledge. And of course, you listen to us. And definitely, as I finish, let me say this. We have seen some of the people already, they have started planning, or who will become president, who will become this. Let me tell you, as Kenyan people will not develop if at all we allow selfish individuals to dominate just because they have an access of microphone to divide Kenya. Remember, we have no other nation other than Kenya. Some of the things that are happening today as a joke, if they continue, we are taking these countries to the dogs. And therefore, we call on these politicians, let us now try at least 2027 is far. And before 2027 there is life, and after 2027 there is life. It is us, the young people, if today a war rises, it is us whose future is going to be affected. Some of you have lived your life, you have given birth to the kids and everything, you have finished, you have enjoyed your life. It's time.
Can you question them any question, please? Unajua, like ni vizuri, if possible, the audience were engaged na nyinyi. If you have got a very good question before we wrap up, because I can see we have almost, in fact, less than 10 minutes to wrap up. Will you mind if you can at some point maybe engage with them by questioning them before tumalize? Yes?
Mm-hmm. So as maybe they send their questions and everything else, I'll finish. I was saying this. Before 2027, we have a life to live. After 2027, we have a life to live. Actually, most of the Kenyans are very innocent. Somebody wakes up in the morning, they goes to school. This is a comrade who is in a university, in a college. They wakes up in the morning, they are very innocent, with the hope that one day life will get better, with the hope that one day maybe they will make their families proud, they will make the nation proud, they will make where they come from proud. Yet somebody else here, an individual who is just ravenous, selfish, comes to divide these people, telling them, weni Mkikuyu, weni hii, weni Mkale, weni Mkisi, weni huyo, tufanye hivi tukipanga 2027. Good people, if we continue with the politics of tribalism, this country, we will take it to the dogs, and we will see no changes, and we'll live to complain. Now, good people, I finish by saying this. When the Israelites cried to God out of the afflictions they were going through, the Lord gave them Moses. Kenyans, God gave you Gen Zs, young, eloquent, bold, courageous people who would dare to risk even their own lives so that they can fight for their country, they can have good governance, their parents and the efforts they are making would yield fruits. We want to see our parents who do farming, different agricultural products. We want to see market for them. Kenya today, we should be exporting more than we are importing, and that is how we are going to support our GDP. But now, if we don't canvass and talk about such kind of things, and we start now talking about sisi ni Wakale, sisi ni Wakikuyu, we are messing up with our nation. And therefore, let us not condone politics of divisions, politics of ethnicity. We are Kenyan people. This is our land. We have no other land. And all of us under the blue skies, we are but one family, the family of Kenya.
Anyway. Gen Z ni kweli, nyinyi ni Gen Z wala. I don't know whether I'm the same category with you, but you are the original one. Tukimalizia ndugu tafadhali.
Let me give my last submission punchline. What I can say, I just want to tell Kenyans, let me just speak in Swahili because I know most of our viewers, I just want this news to get kwa wale watu wako bara Kenya. Let me tell you, acha niwaambie, kitu cha kwanza lazima tukubali kuwa Kenya kuna ukabila. And accept that Kenya kuna ukabila na kila mtu wa kabila yake. Tukishajua kuwa si vibaya mtu kuwa Mjaluo, si vibaya mtu kuwa Mluya, si vibaya mtu kuwa Mkikuyu, na si vibaya mtu kuwa Mkale. Hakuna mtu aliandika barua azaliwe Mkalenjini wala Mluya wala hizo tribes zote tuko nazo Kenya. Tukishajua hivyo tutaishi kwa amani, kwa sababu wale viongozi ni wa kabila. Kitu cha kwanza ni wa kabila, and they are using that kufanya nini? Kufanya sisi tujue kuwa kumbe ni vibaya mtu kwa kabila. That's why ukiona kila time kiongozi ama president wetu akiamka anasema lazima tumalize ukabila. Na hiyo sasa hiyo anasema, lakini kuna mtoto yazaliwa mdogo Mjaluo, atamaliza vipi na huyo mtoto amezaliwa anajua mimi ni Mjaluo? Hatuwezi maliza ukabila. Ni lazima tujue tuna janga la ukabila, na tujue kama mtu ana shida, kama maybe amepata ajali akavunjika mguu, ama wanasema kuvunjika kwa mwiko si mwisho wa kupika. Wajue kuwa tuna ukabila na tujue vile tutaishi na huo ukabila ikuwe to our own advantage. Unapata? Kwa sababu tuko ni diversity. Kuwa tribal si ati ni kitu kingine ati ni cha ajabu. Viongozi ndio wanatumia huo ukabila vibaya ili kutufanya kuwa tuone tumetengana. Like what's happening leo pale Kisumu, Homa Bay. It was not a good picture to the country. Kwa sababu wale watu wanaona ni nyinyi mmekuwa kwa serikali for a very long time, hasa ni wakati wetu pia sisi kuvu, na wanaitumia kama in a tribal way. Hata nimemuona CS wa treasury anatumia sana hiyo nini kuongea, na sijui hata ni tangulini CS walianza kupiga siasa. Kila time akienda huko Nyanza anasema ana refer to the Kikuyu people. Mimi nataka niambie wa Kenya, tukubali tuna ukabila na tutumie ukabila kujijenga sisi, tujue. Na nilikuwa nimemtembelea pia Profesa Pielo Lumumba, akasema ni vizuri kweli Kenya wakubali kuwa kuna ukabila, hata ni vizuri wafunze mtu kabila chake ama mali anatoka hiyo ukabila mpaka class 2 akiwa anagrow akijua mimi I'm from this tribe, na hii tribe these and these are our values. Unaona, hiyo ndio umuhimu wa kukabila. Lakini hii mambo yanapanda juu ya gari kila time ati we know we won't divide us along the tribal lines, na hao ndio wa kabila. Unapata mtu kama saizi the former DP anasimama juu ya gari akisema nani akusanya watu wake Kalonzo, yule nani, hiyo ndio ukabila ambao hatutaki. Lakini wakisema as Kenyans tunajua people from Central, people from Nyanza, people from this, let's come together na tukue kwa table to reason as people, as Kenyan citizens. Unapata? Hapo hivyo ndio tutapata Kenya itaendelea mbele. Lakini tukiendelea hivi hatunajidanganya ati hakuna ukabila. Kuna ukabila, so tuitumie to our own advantage, si kuitumia kutenganisha wa Kenya. Hivyo ndio nilizowaambia wa Kenya wenzangu.
Anyway, Gen Z, by the way wanasemanga ati Gen Z's wanakuanga na vichwa ngumu. I don't know whether that is the point or what, but I don't know.
We are not bad people. We are good people. It's only that we want things to go in order, and where we see a problem, I think this is the boldest generation that has ever existed in this country. The previous generations actually, they were like, president akileta hata kama ni kitabu moja shule, pigeni makofi, tupige nduru, tufanye nini. Lakini Gen Z watakuuliza, jameni, hey, you have this budget. We needed a road here. We needed this, facilitation, but you have not brought it. Why? And you're taxing Kenyans. You have this money. Why have you not done things? You get my point. So this is the most bold generation, contrary to what you're saying, that it's a generation ya vichwa ngumu.
Nikimalizia, just a very simple question that I would like, if possible, you guys to answer in a very shortest way possible. Is it good, or do you support the abusive language and pictures that we do see on the internet? Do you support those things? And why do you really think most of Gen Zs do use those things?
Now, what I will say is this. Remember what transpired in most of the things we used to see them. It was after the range that rose as a result, a posthumous result of the incidents of the protest of June 2024 last year. So whatever happened at that time, there is an emotional state. There was an emotional state of anger. Yeah, because you have killed our people, you have abducted our people, you have done this, you have done a lot of bad things were done to the people and the Gen Zs. And that is why they reacted out of anger. But right now, as we talk, if you look at Gen Zs right now, in fact, they have not even taken sides. Well, what they are saying is simple. Life has not changed. Yeah, that's what they are saying. But they have not, you see, the president has been in power for all this 1 year. And Gen Zs have been quiet. They have not done, anything that would interfere with the peace of the country, which means Gen Zs are peaceful people. The only thing that they need is an assurance that you are not going to tamper or puzzle our future, that we are very much zealously fighting for every day when we wake up in the morning. That is the only assurance that Gen Zs need. Remember, if you kill hope, then the people you are leading, they will also resist.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate. This is Plain St. Felix. As I said, guys, if possible, I know it is possible, yes?
Yeah.
Kenya iko kwa mikono yetu sisi wote. Kenya is for us, and we belong to Kenya. Kenya is our motherland. Let us try to be peaceful. Let us try to address each other in a peaceful way. And please, at some point, let us try to communicate in a very good formula that at some point cannot violate communication. So thank you so much. Just like I said, hey guys, support me. Just like the way you have done right now. Support me by subscribing, sharing, and going. I'll appreciate. Na nitakuwa nikiwaletea a lot of information every day as from 6:30 at 7. So thank you so much for joining me. This is Plain St. Felix. Welcome to Kenya News Alert TV. Be part of our family. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.
I really appreciate. Thank you. Shh.